Are you a prepper or homesteader looking to connect with like-minded people in your area? Looking to start your own preparedness group? Already have a group? Well, look no further than PrepperNet. PrepperNet is dedicated to personal responsibility, individual freedoms, and being self-reliant. PrepperNet has monthly meetings in over 100 cities where you can meet and learn with like-minded people in your area. PrepperNet, where preppers unite. Find us online at preppernet.com.
Hi, this is Maury Moreland Morrison, here to tell you Geico has more than just great savings. Much more. Yes, while Geico could help you rack up more moolah faster than you can say metamorphosis, they've also been the fastest growing auto insurer for more than 10 years. That's more like it. Furthermore, Geico has fast and friendly claim service. That might seem like an oxymoron, but it's not. All the more reason to say no other auto insurer has more than Geico. Geico. Expect great savings and a whole lot more.
There's nothing better than a good book. If you know where to find one, visit the bookstore at prepperbroadcasting.com and see the most popular authors. How-to books from canning food to tanning hides, herbal remedies to survival medicine. Want fiction? It's there. Find yourself surviving a global disaster or a horde of zombies. Nonfiction? It's also there. We have the books that will have you cheering for the hero or crying for the lost heart. Visit the bookstore at prepperbroadcasting.com and see what you've been missing.
You've just joined the Prepper Broadcasting Network, where we promote self-reliance and independence. The views and opinions expressed are strictly those of the host or their guests. Visit us in the interactive chat room at prepperbroadcasting.com.
Hey, good evening. Geez, Louise, great, strong. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Prepping Academy. I'm Forrest. We got Kyle across the table. It is Friday night, and we are live on prepperbroadcasting.com. Live. And we got a big giveaway tonight, too, so stay tuned. That's going to be maybe second half of the hour.
Yay.
So, but we'll tell you a little bit about that. Hey, if you're over on Blog Talk Radio, which you probably... maybe, I guess. Go over to prepperbroadcasting.com. We have an interactive chat room taking place right now. And I'll tell you this, if you want the giveaway tonight, you're going to have to be in our chat room. Is that bad? Is that just... No, that's good. No, that's okay. Fine, yeah. You're going to have to go to prepperbroadcasting.com, listen to us there, and there's a chat right there on the front page. Just put your name in, and boom. And we're going to give a...
Something.
It
has nothing to do with anything we have on the tables in front of us.
No. I do have my pepper spray right here handy in case Kyle gets out of hand and he's got his throwing darts. It's going to be difficult for you to throw. I'm like 2 feet from you.
If I was going to throw, I can just jab.
Okay, jab. So, Kyle, how was your week?
Not too bad.
You worked all week. Ticked me off. We couldn't even meet this week.
Yeah, not too bad.
So you blew me off, and we didn't even meet. So
I tried talking. I talked to you while you were on the road yesterday.
Yeah. It's because you blew me off Wednesday night.
Didn't you say you got like ice cream or something like that?
Oh, I did get grape ice cream yesterday.
I was talking about that.
That was the most amazing thing. Grape ice cream. Yeah. It's amazing. So, I had a busy week. I had some good news this week. We signed a deal with Sawyer Water Filters, Sawyer Products, to sponsor not only our show, but also to sponsor the Carolina Preppers Network. We signed that this week. So it's mostly products, like a lot of products.
That's cool. I mean,
to give away.
We're giveaways.
And so, they've been a sponsor of mine. This is going in year 2. So I re-signed them for bigger and better.
Yeah, that's cool.
So that was good news. So tonight we're going to talk about, what you call this, gardening? What was the name of it you called it?
Something like that.
Survival?
Something food, something. Grow your own food if you don't want to die.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You got to throw in the die in there for sure.
Yeah.
So, again, if you want to be part of our giveaway, you're going to need to go to prepperbroadcasting.com and join in the chat room. What we're giving away was just released.
Yeah.
It could be a gun, or it could be...
No, let's not get their hopes up.
No, it's not a gun.
You get like 5,000 people in the chat.
Yeah. So, anyway, that's where we are. So, Kyle, tell us about your week.
About my week?
I mean, anything exciting? Nothing? You just worked.
I mean, I cleaned my truck.
No one cares about that. Oh, you got a truck?
Yeah, I put a
Toolbox.
toolbox back in there.
Yeah.
I put a bunch of prepping supplies, stuff like that in there.
Mm-hmm.
I got a little bit of prepping stuff. I told you I got some pepper spray.
Pepper spray?
I got, what you call it? The solar phone charger. So it's like little small knickknacks things here and there. You know, just rounding out some stuff, cleaning up, getting ready for, spring.
Well, I've been getting ready for Heritage Life Skills.
I thought you were going to say Armageddon.
Armageddon. Well, I'm always ready for that. Where Heritage Life Skills is an event mid-April up in Waynesville, North Carolina, where there's a lot of preppers, a lot of teaching. I'm speaking, and I'm also teaching a class there.
Well, let's hope you speak better there than you did starting off on the show. Right?
I'm a lousy speaker. You know,
It's just great.
I got a face for radio and a voice for
mimes.
Dude, my pepper spray's right here, man. Actually, but anyway. So let's talk about, every week, guys, we at the Prepping Academy, which is preppingacademy.com. Y'all need to go there and follow us. But every week on the show, we have a segment in the very beginning, and we call it Kyle's Conspiracy Theory of the Week. Kyle and Alex Jones are brothers. They have different last names, but they're brothers.
Just halfsies.
And Kyle believes in every conspiracy theory in the world. Matter of fact, this week, wasn't it this week we posted that in Charlotte, Google is giving away like 250 trees?
Oh yeah, the eavesdropping ones that you were trying to like.
And I posted on our board that Kyle thinks they're implanted with microphones and video cameras, and they're going to give them away to 250 people. So anyway.
Yeah. No, that's not really mine. I mean, I've had a few good, really reasonable conspiracy theories. I even made up a few of my own.
You did. Last week you made your own up.
So this week I was going to talk about banker deaths. And there was someone, and I didn't even want to get into it.
What did you say, banker deaths?
Banker deaths.
Okay.
There's been bankers, there's been alternative media folks, there's been scientists. Just sort of the past, 8 years, ironically.
It's Hillary, isn't it?
Some people say it's Hillary, some people say it's Obama. I mean, like, what was the one, Loretta Fuddy? Was that it?
I don't know.
The woman who said it was like the only person who actually knew what was going on with his birth certificate. And then she like died. But yet the guy was swimming away from the plane, still taking a selfie or some crap like that. Like, I didn't have time to save her. Click. This plane I just sank. So I've just been a really busy week in alternative media. There's been a bunch of stuff that's come up. And there was another banker who plunged to his death, and they just said he was just depressed. No specific reasons why, but he was a high-level banker. Some people are talking maybe it's something to do with Libor again. But there's been a bunch of other stuff going on. And, I was really perturbed. This week, it feels like something's getting ready to happen. And I've heard a couple people talk about there being an American spring. Like, you remember the Arab Spring. Yep. It feels like it's very, very possible. All the warm weather we've been having, people getting riled up about things. More and more stuff with the media going after Trump. Trump's doing a pretty good job so far. I mean, I'm not going to say he's, the best president ever, but so far he's not rocking the boat too much to the extent that some people thought he was. He's being reasonable. But now there's these groups that are appearing.
By the way, that's your opinion. You keep going.
Yeah, don't make me smack.
Okay.
There's these people who are appearing now, and they've been in the spotlight before. Maybe you've heard of them. Eric Holder.
Oh, yeah.
Barack Obama. there was a comment made the other day by Eric Holder that basically said Obama is getting prepared to come back out in the political spotlight to oppose Trump. Now, you're older than me, and in all your years, do you ever remember?
Do you have to bring that up?
I mean, significantly older. No. Do you ever remember a president opposing openly?
No, they would all go away and disappear.
So you mean to
for
tell
at least a year or 2 years?
So you mean to tell me that they didn't move in to a house down the road and start their own quote unquote grassroots movements?
No.
And join up with the ACLU and other organizations to plan protests to oppose the president?
But you know that Obama did build a wall around his house.
Well, I can see why. He didn't want any riffraff in there. But there's.
So you're saying that Obama is he going to try to overthrow Trump?
I honestly think he is. I think there's something going on.
Well, there's laws that prevent him from becoming president again.
People are
so
upset.
The Constitution.
The snowflakes are so upset about the popular vote that they're going to use this as an excuse to try and make some sort of amendment in our Constitution. That's what I see happening.
Mm-hmm.
And if they don't get it, they're going to riot like crazy. And already, if you have 30,000 people across the United States out there doing all this, and we've kind of seen that even on our own personal levels. I've had my interaction with people who I know are involved in this sort of stuff. And, it's just like I told you last week. I said I had, 2 neighbors who went to a gun show, and the people who were at this gun show, they're not folks like me and you. They were of a different variety, and shall we say that probably they don't need to be owning guns because of the way they were talking about it and the mindset they have. They're coming off as maybe threatening, revolutionary, violent.
Mm. Are you saying they're conservative or
they're liberal?
Liberal. Okay.
They're liberal.
Okay.
I'm not saying all liberals are like that, but these ones, whenever, if you and I were at a gun show together and someone walked up and was taking pictures, I don't think I'd go over and bully that person and be like, hey, you need to turn that off. This is secret stuff going on here. You don't need to be taking pictures of us.
Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah.
So that sort of stuff's going on. So
that's one of my concerns as well, is that all these prepper groups were running in the Carolinas, in 10 cities, little plug, Carolina Prepper Network, that all these liberals are going to start joining. And we don't talk a lot of politics in ours because we really don't. We talk about freedoms, smaller government, and that's our focus.
Yeah. Well, we just want to basically quit being screwed.
Mm-hmm.
But on top of that,
so what's the end goal of this conspiracy theory?
Yeah, the end goal of this conspiracy theory is, I think, like we talked about our prediction episode we had several months ago or several weeks ago. I think we're getting to that point where whenever the weather starts to change and we get into a warmer season, I think we're going to start seeing nationwide. We're going to start seeing significant protests. There's a number of economists who are coming out saying the economy is primed for collapse. A lot of people are worried about March 15th. Less than 2 weeks away, we have the debt ceiling coming up.
And it's hard-coded in, is my understanding.
It is, from what Boehner and Obama had signed into action, it does sound like it'd be difficult to
it's
override.
Difficult to get around. And other people I've read think it's going to be a catalyst for our market to go even higher.
There's no, and that's the problem. There's no reason for our market to go higher.
I know.
It's overvalued so far. I mean,
hey, my Bitcoin has
like
highest it's been
0.00. Yeah,
it's higher than gold right now.
Yeah. The other conspiracy theories, if you guys haven't checked it out, I like alternative science type stuff, and there's apparently these researchers who look at Google images, and they found this 2.5 mile wide circular item, disc, whatever you want to call it, and it is great, engraving the bottom of the ocean floor somewhere, and they found it's made a trail 42 miles long.
What?
It's really bizarre. I'm just throwing it out.
I don't watch Alex Jones.
It wasn't
Did he
on
cover
Alex
it?
Jones. No, it wasn't on Alex Jones.
You're throwing in 2 tonight?
I'm throwing in 2.
Dude, you can't do that.
That was the prize.
That's ill. That's not. So okay, I'm gonna have to research that now. So you're throwing in another one. There's a disc at the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah, it's probably a UFO. It's probably just sliding around.
It's looking for people and can't find people.
No, I mean, it's probably the water pressure is keeping it down, so it's trying to get to a place where it's shallow so it can get out.
You need help.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, that's Kyle's conspiracy theories, meaning two.
Oh, see, you know what Michael saw?
Michael's people in the chat room saw that, but Michael's kind of
my kind of people.
You're two of the brothers from the different mother.
Mm-hmm.
He said so. But okay, so tonight we're going to talk about gardening, survival gardening. What did you call this on the actual write-up?
I don't remember. It was like a week
I think
ago.
it was gardening for preppers and survivalists.
Something like that.
I think that's what I put. And so we're going to talk about gardening. And my first statement has to do. I have to get this statement in there. And you've already stole my line for tonight. But preppers, and I say this all the time.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a prepper, and that's all you are as a prepper, you're going to store food, and there's a huge grid down, you're going to die.
Which, I'm going to back it up here just for a minute. I did see one other story, and this isn't so much a conspiracy theory. This was like a little freak out thing.
Oh, my word.
I'm just going to hijack this for 1 second.
Okay.
People apparently down in Brazil, there's been several cases now where doctors are testing them, and they're finding no drugs in their systems, but their bodies have a infection that they cannot figure out.
And they're walking zombies.
They've had this. They've shot several of them multiple times, and they keep coming. They're not trying to bite them, but it's. I watched a video last night. This dude had a bullet shot right through his face. They said their white blood cells are extremely high, like astronomically high. They're fighting infections. They don't know what's going on with the people. I'm just saying The Walking Dead could be amongst. But the point I was using with that, is. You mentioned to me last week, you said that there was something you read that basically said, given any amount of time, the longer something goes on, the less likely you are to survive.
Right.
And,
okay.
And I think about that in terms of like zombies and stuff like that. And the reason I get into that with food is because people always have this simple ideal, that they're going to be able to grow their food, be left alone.
Right. Well, first they think they're going to store enough that they can survive.
Yeah,
and that's not going to happen.
You can never do that.
Never.
Stuff can happen, but then too, it's not just growing the food. It's how do you protect your food? How do you hide your food?
Yes.
Because people are going to come for it.
And it's not just homesteaders.
No.
Because I know the homesteaders. The homesteaders aren't considered preppers.
Yeah.
I mean, we would like to think that they are, and we would like to think that they have the same mindset. But how many homesteaders do we know that don't even own guns?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And we're like, okay, you're putting food back.
You're doing good. You're
doing good. You're growing your animals and everything, but you have no way of protecting it.
Yeah.
That's a mindset that, we need to find out where they live.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
No, that's the opposite way. I know where they live, and I don't want to go that way. Actually.
Yeah. No.
So anyway, but homesteaders are not considered. I mean, there's. I've yet to actually meet a homesteader that has a prepper mindset. Oh no. We're actually going to go visit a farm here in April. And that homesteader is a prepper and does have defense.
Yes, I wouldn't really call it a farm per se, more like a farmette.
It's a homestead.
Yeah.
And he's expanded. So, but anyway. So tonight we're going to talk about gardening for preppers and survivalists. That means that's different than gardening for your family in peacetime.
Yeah, having yourself a little victory garden.
Yeah. What do I call my garden?
Salsa garden?
Salsa garden.
Yeah, because that's all you grow.
Because I have tomatoes, I have peppers, I have onions, just everything you need to make salsa. I have a 4x10 garden. I can only grow so much.
I thought of a great prank. I was thinking about sneaking into your backyard and planting some habanero seeds or some ghost pepper seeds.
Dude, the ghost peppers scare me, but we've done some. We've been through that before. They didn't work out so well. We don't grow them anymore.
Well, fire down under?
Yeah, I kind of got on my hand and kind of wiped my face. And
oh, yeah.
It was. I didn't even think about it until after I did it.
Another point, though, is, you can start making your own pepper spray.
Ooh. Well, I bought new pepper. This is the Kimber. It's shaped like a gun. It's called Blaster 2.
It shoots twice.
It shoots twice, and I'm not a big fan of it. I did buy it for my son and my wife to carry it in their cars, but I replaced it. That's why this one's here. I replaced it with the gel.
Yeah.
Saber gel. Saber gel, yeah, which is much better. A lot of police officers use it.
Yeah, I just picked up some of those this week.
Yeah, and it's a much better than this. So anyway, that's why this is kind of a toy now. One day I'm going to sit here and I'm going to go bam, bam, and I'm going to shoot you twice.
Yeah, that's
the first time you're going to get so excited your mouth's going to open, and I'm going to squirt it in your mouth. So
that's lovely.
Then I'll finish the show out while you're crying over in the corner.
Yeah.
I look forward to that day. No, so preppers are going to run out of their resources, and they have to be able to grow food. Which means to grow food, what do you need?
You need land to start with.
Land. So can you grow in America? Can you grow food anywhere in America?
I mean, unless you live in some like really liberal, douchey place that tries to say you can't have a garden in your front yard.
They say that?
Oh, there have been places. There's been places, I believe, even in Michigan.
In your front yard, yeah.
Well,
yeah.
There's been places even in your backyard that they have, HOA laws and stuff like that. Local municipalities that they'll say you cannot grow.
Okay.
But I wouldn't listen to them anyways.
Yeah.
Move out.
So you're gonna need land. You're gonna need. So I mean, if you're, we're not talking about today. Go in your backyard, dig it up, and plant a garden, which you can do. But we're talking for preppers and survivalists. We're talking when the grid goes down.
Yeah.
How are you going to do it? How are you going to build a garden? And, of course, we did have Rick Austin on, was that in December?
Yeah, it was December.
And he wrote a book called Secret Garden of Survival. And what he does, he mixes his garden into the environment so you can't even see the garden, in a sense. You don't know it's there. And our friend Ellie kind of does the same thing. She mixes it all within her environment. She'll have a tree with fruit growing plants underneath it or vegetables. And so there are different methods, but we're going to talk about some of them. We're going to talk about, I've never heard a prepper say, hey, I'm storing fertilizer. Well, not for, because storing fertilizer, I guess, is bad. It's if you store so much. But I want the best possible crop. I don't care what GMO or what that fertilizer does to my plants. If I need that food, I want the most productive, the most yield as possible.
Part of the trick behind Rick Austin and the brilliance behind his book and what he does is actually companion gardening.
Right.
So the plants that he's putting together, they form a symbiotic relationship where they're basically nourishing each other, kind of like how you want your marriage to work.
You just go there.
Throw that in there for people.
Thank you there.
Marital advice while we're working.
Pastor Kyle.
Yeah. But the nice thing about that is you can actually have higher yields. You can basically hide some of your stuff with these plants.
It's like a tree. The acid from a pine tree falls down and it fertilizes plants that need acid to grow.
Yeah. Alfalfa is a great one. You can actually grow alfalfa in between your crops, and that'll help replenish nitrogen in the soil.
Okay. So, and that stuff you got to learn beforehand. If you're planting a garden with a book and people were hunting food, that's difficult, right?
Yeah, and where do we live? What kind of dirt do we have? We have crap. We have
clay. We have clay, yes.
So do you know how hard it is to grow crops in clay?
My entire garden is bad soil that came from somewhere.
Absolutely. And I mean, you can go out to companies and have acres and acres of soil brought in for top covers and spend thousands of dollars. Or you can go out there and learn what plants you can start planting, like the alfalfa, that will go in there, help break up the clay, get healthy nitrogen in there, and start turning it into like a viable topsoil.
Hey, let's take a quick break.
Are you a prepper or homesteader looking to connect with like-minded people in your area? Looking to start your own preparedness group? Already have a group? Well, look no further than PrepperNet. PrepperNet is dedicated to personal responsibility, individual freedoms, and being self-reliant. PrepperNet has monthly meetings in over 100 cities where you can meet and learn with like-minded people in your area. PrepperNet, where preppers unite. Find us online at preppernet.com.
Someone's saying now they're slamming my fertilizer idea, apparently. Oh, someone said they store bug repellent and wasp spray. Oh yeah, I definitely have that. Sawyer makes the best bug repellent in the world without a doubt. But fertilizer takes up a lot of room. Well, it does.
Well, there's stuff that
my food's going to be a lot more. I'm going to have a lot more yield than you will as well too. But
yeah, I mean, there's certain fertilizers that you can store
mm-hmm.
that you can also use yourself, like Epsom salts. Epsom salts are great for certain plants.
Or you could just get cows.
Well, and chickens. Or actually, you know what?
Rabbits.
No, actually,
rabbits
you remember
the best
what,
fertilizer
you remember
there
what
is.
Dan had that was really good? Was the ducks.
The duck. Wasn't that hot though? It was
the ducks everywhere that they had their water.
Oh,
their water,
you could see.
That everything was fertile and lush and just amazing. So
but
ducks.
Rabbits' poop is not hot. No. And you can put it immediately on. And I'm a rabbit guy. I have rabbits. I can take my poop. Oh, excuse me, the rabbit's poop.
Yeah, let's back up there, bud.
And put it right onto the garden. And my garden rocked. I had tomatoes growing like crazy because my entire garden was almost rabbit poop.
And you know what they need? They thrive off of nitrogen.
Mm-hmm.
But say if you plant two things together, say if you plant tomato and corn together, they'll starve each other out because they're both taking the same nutrients.
So there are different methods. One method is the companion garden.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, does the square foot garden, do they use the companion garden
They're going to be
concept?
using that because you can actually grow things tighter together, and the root systems will actually help each other out.
Okay.
So there's a lot of things that you look at, and this might sound really funny if you're not on Pinterest. I recommend Pinterest for preppers.
Dude.
I really do.
Dude.
There are a ton of great homesteading ideas on there, a ton of alternative medicine ideas.
Did you wear your skirt tonight?
Yeah, I'm Scottish. I wore my skirt.
No,
absolutely. It's called my kilt.
Your mini skirt?
Yeah, no. Don't make me throw this at you.
I got my pepper spray and you got a knife. Oh, I do have. Oh, I'm not. Anyway. Yeah. So here's the deal. If you're new to gardening, don't just go and say, hey, let me plant some tomatoes, or let me just dig up a place and start planting. There's systems out there that you need to learn.
Yeah.
And because just planting tomatoes or whatever you're going to plant.
Did you say cat?
Cabbage.
Oh, I thought you said cat. I was like, how would you plant a cat?
Yeah.
Chinese food? You can grow Chinese food?
But if you're going to just start a garden, don't do that. I would recommend go get a book. I love Margie Wildcraft. She has a whole series called Grow Your Own Food. I forgot the name of her series, but get a system. If it's square foot gardening, if it's companion garden, if it's Rick Austin, which I highly recommend, The Secret Garden of Survival. That's Rick Austin. Read his book, and then you learn how plants, like you said, work together and grow. And in Rick's book, you actually kind of hide your garden, so it's kind of interesting instead of it just being rows after row after row after row. Mm-hmm. But you got to learn how to do this beforehand. And just don't plant food for food's sake. You're learning that. I mean, anyone can do that. Children can put seeds in the ground and go grow and water it.
Yeah. But
you're not learning how to get the best possible yield out of that garden and not to deplete the garden of.
Now, you need to learn things that our founding fathers and future or past generations they learned. Simple things like crop rotation.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
You need to learn about microorganisms in your soil, what the difference is between tilling and not tilling, how that affects your growth yield. Another good book I recommend is the Backyard Homestead. And a lot of these books that they have out there now, and that's why I recommend Pinterest, is there's actually schematics and plans that you can find on there for growing a high-yield garden in a very small space. So like one of my common things I come across is people say, well, I'd love to get involved in prepping, but I don't have a large enough garden. I only have, a small little area where I can grow. You can grow enough food for yourself in 1/10 of an acre, potentially less, depending on what sort of system you follow.
Did you find that family out? There's a family that grows their entire food on 1/10 of an acre.
Yeah, I think they're in California, I want to say.
And they sell enough food are they making a living doing it?
They make a living.
So they on 1/10 of an acre,
over 60,000.
They're feeding now. If I remember right, it's like a father and a mother.
And I think their daughter.
And a daughter and her husband or something.
Something like that.
Kind of weird. And they all live on this tenth of an acre. They grow enough food for themselves, and they sell it and make a living.
Yeah, they sell to restaurants and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then
there's other ways. Even if you live in an apartment complex, there's barrels. You can grow potatoes, or there's hay bales. I mean, there's all different ways.
I'm really a big fan of PVC pipe systems. They actually have like hydroponic systems that you can build using simple buckets and PVC pipes. And, you know, if you're not familiar with hydroponics, that's a great way for someone to get into it. You know, living in an apartment, and even if you just have to have it indoors and you have minimal sunlight, that's something you can do and grow it fast.
Right, and so if you're going to, so now's the time, you're almost too late. Now's the time you need to start reading that book and planting, because you should be planting seeds here in the next month, shouldn't you?
April. Yeah.
April?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for our region, I wouldn't put it out right now. I mean, it's very tempting with the weather.
Planting seeds like starter in your house.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
I'm tempted to like go out and start gardening right now with the 80-degree weather we've had, but then like right now it's going down to the 30s, so it's crazy weather.
But last year you spent a lot of time in your garden.
Yeah,
I remember.
Yeah, and I'll be building a greenhouse this year, so that'll be good.
So what time we got? We're
9:30.
Yeah, it's time for a commercial. If G-Man in the studio is ready, we're going to listen to a few commercials. Then we're going to talk about, as soon as we get back, now let me tell you before we go to commercial, when we get back, we're going to have a giveaway. You need to be in our chat room. And to be in our chat room, you need to go to Prepper Broadcasting. So this gives you about 5 minutes before we give it away. You need to go to prepperbroadcasting.com. And on the front page there, the home page, you can listen to us live. And then you could also join in our chat room somewhere in the middle of the page. And you're going to need to do that now, especially if you're at Blog Talk Radio. You need to go on over there and sign in, and we're going to give away a free book. Are you playing with your knife? This is the middle show, man. No. So go do that right now. Go to prepperbroadcasting.com. And we're going to go to commercial break, and we'll be back after, I think, 2 minutes. We'll be back.
Yep.
Hi, this is Ron Paul. I am a former congressman, physician, and presidential candidate. The world is in turmoil. Things like Ebola, earthquakes, wars, and famines are commonplace. As Americans, we are largely sheltered from these events. However, in parts of the world, just having enough food is a huge problem. For some of us, there is the nagging thought that we may not always have it so good. So we keep some food on hand just in case. My family and I have found a product that helps us do this better. It's a home freeze dryer from Harvest Right. With it, we eat healthier and store a little more food. We freeze dry everything we love to eat, and it lasts up to 25 years. Who knows what the future will bring? One thing's certain, my family and I will always have food on the table. To learn more, go to harvestright.com or call 800-923-9591. That's harvestright.com or 800-923-9591.
Find peace of mind for your family at Forge Survival Supply. Founded by United States Marine Corps veterans, Forge is the premier destination for quality American-made survival and emergency preparedness products. Freeze-dried foods, water filtration, fire starters, fully equipped bug-out bags. Find everything your family needs to stay safe, protected, and nourished during times of uncertainty at ForgeSurvivalSupply.com. Delivery is fast and it's free on all orders. Need help? Call our 24/7 support team. As a listener of this program, Forge Survival Supply would like to give you an additional 10% savings. That's right, an additional 10% off your entire order, plus free shipping by entering discount code SURVIVOR at checkout. That's ForgeSurvivalSupply.com and use discount code SURVIVOR.
Hey, I'm Joe Alton, MD. I'm here to remind you that disasters can happen anytime, anywhere, and you need to know what to do in an emergency. The new 2016 third edition of the Survival Medicine Handbook is the essential guide for when medical help is not on the way. The Survival Medicine Handbook covers every issue you'll face in times of trouble, and it's all in plain English. Get the Survival Medicine Handbook at Amazon.com. I guarantee one day you'll be glad you did.
Hey, we're back. Welcome to the Prepping Academy. I'm Forrest. We got Kyle across the table. Hey, our website is preppingacademy.com. Preppingacademy.com. We also need you to go to iTunes and give us a rating, a high rating, like the highest you can give, which is 5 stars. And just tell people how, just lie. We're going to ask you to lie and tell people how great we are.
Just lie about Forrest. I know I'm good.
But we need them ratings so we can get up and so people can find us on iTunes. And that is, we're at preppingacademy.com. Go there and sign up for our mailing list. I've yet to send one mail, but I'm going to. This weekend I may send an email out to everyone. Kind of an update and what we're doing, our new sponsor, all that. So I have my handy dandy pepper spray. He's got his knife, so we are well defended here at the time. So we're getting ready to give away a book. This book is written by Daisy Luther. It is called The Prepper's Canning Guide. Now, you're a canner, right? Do you can?
Not right now.
Not right. Well,
no. I mean, I like to can. My grandmother cans and everything like that. She's been into prepping for years. And
so my wife and kids can. They can every year with the grandmother, green beans, things like that. Yeah. But I'm not a canner. I wouldn't know how to can.
I mean, it can be dangerous. You drop one of those things, it goes off like a.
Yeah. That's fun.
Let the wife and kid do that. No.
I don't think I've ever been part of canning. I've been to classes on canning, but I don't can. But it's called, again, her name is Daisy Luther, and I'm sure someone's going to put this in the chat room here. And the name of the book is New Prepper's Canning Guide, and you can buy that you can buy this on Prepper Broadcasting Bookstore. So our producer, G-Man, on prepperbroadcasting.com has a bookstore. You can go in there and buy it from there, or you can get it from Barnes & Noble and Amazon and all the book places as well.
Yeah, just be normal. Just go to Barnes & Noble, Amazon, just like everybody else. Go through the proper broadcasting.
Yeah, go to Prepper Broadcasting.
Why be typical? Why be
right?
average?
Exactly. So we may give away more than one book. So let's do this. In the chat room, because we said you had to be in the chat room, and if you're listening via podcast, what we can do is we can give one away for live. We're making this up as we go, by the way. You think we have notes? We don't.
We're just that good.
So let's give away one in the chat room, and then one they email us, and then we'll pick one from the email.
Okay. Well, how are we going to give these away? I have
that way. A podcaster that's listening to this later this week actually has a chance to win. I think that's brilliant.
Yeah, that's good. I think this is what we should do. I think there's something behind you that makes a sound, and I think the first person to recognize the sound.
Oh.
I think should get
the first person. That's really lame, but
I think no. I mean, they do that on the radio all the time on other stations
really?
And stuff like that. Just don't,
So I'm going to make. I have a device,
utensil,
in my hand, and we're going to live on the air. We're going to make a sound, and it will be loud and crazy. And if you can recognize this sound, the first person that types it in the chat room, that's the lamest.
No, it is not. They do it all the time.
What shows do that?
There's something on like 103.7. I hear it all the time.
Okay, if you identify this sound in the chat room, then you will win Daisy Luther's book, New Prepper's Canning Guide. Here we go. On 3. Don't jump. 2, 1. That is not a machine gun. Oh, who is that? Pappy has won. He said a taser. This is actually a flashlight, and on the end of the flashlight, it's not a taser. You're right. It's not a taser, is it? This is a stun gun.
I would consider that a taser. A stun gun actually has like projectiles that come out.
No, that's a taser with the stun. Okay, no. This is stun gun. Let's see if it works. We're going to have to go to our legal. This is at the end of a flashlight has a, dude, that's sweet, isn't it?
Yeah, stick your finger in there.
No. So we have a winner. We just don't know. I'm sure G-Man is following our producer who is a rechargeable flashlight. Yes. And it has we'll let G-Man make the call on that. And don't tase me, bro.
I'm going to go, let me see here, what they call it online.
Okay, so here's what we're going to do for the podcasters that are listening to this later. Send an email to info, or actually go to preppingacademy.com.
It's a stun gun.
It's a stun gun. It is a stun gun. I was telling you.
Yeah, okay.
It's a stun gun. It's a stun gun. So that is Jay from Fayetteville that won then. Because he said stun gun. You know, I mean, that's just being real.
I guess, you know, I should be grateful it wasn't a taser because you were aiming it right at me.
So are you saying that I'm right?
No, never.
Okay. So, hey, if you're listening to this on a podcast, and anyone else live can listen as well, do this as well, if you go to preppingacademy.com and hit the contact button and put your name and your email address in there, and in the text area say, hey, I want the free book.
All right. Well, G-Man's saying it sounds like Taser would be a winner to me. I will give it to him. He was first.
He was the first. But go to preppingacademy.com, contact, name and email. In the text area said, hey, write anything you want. I want the book, something like that. And we will randomly draw next Friday night and give it to someone. Does that work?
Yeah,
that works.
Okay,
everybody's happy. Okay. So if you're listening to this again on the podcast, and the date, what's the date? Anybody know the date? It is 3/3. So on 3/10, we're going to give this away. So if you're listening to the podcast this next week, you have an opportunity to win. Preppingacademy.com, contact, fill out the form, and say, I want the dang book. And then we'll pick someone and give it away.
Sounds good.
Sounds good?
Sounds good.
Man, I made that up.
So someone asked right before we went on break, someone asked about the...
questions.
Mosquitoes in hydroponics.
Mm-hmm.
You really wouldn't have that many, but they lay their eggs in the water, so as long as you have fish in the water, the fish will actually eat the eggs.
But also in the water moving a lot?
Yeah, the water's going to be moving, so they typically won't lay their eggs in there.
Right.
But, yeah.
And there are plants that are good to repel mosquitoes.
Yeah.
As well. I think in lavender, one of them?
Yeah, lavender will work, yeah.
And so you plant that within your garden. A lot of these companion gardens, sometimes you do plant flowers in your garden because the flowers are what that bush does.
It helps fight off.
It helps fight off certain insects.
Like garlic. Garlic's another good one to plant around certain things.
Yeah, it keeps Dracula away, yeah.
Uh-huh.
No, it doesn't?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
He's not real.
Get out of here. Come on.
No. Unless
Hey guys, can I jump in?
Yeah, come on. G-Man is joining us.
Yeah, I just got to clarify. Okay, so it's a stun gun.
It's a stun gun, yes.
Who was the winner? Who did you see was
Jay from Fayetteville was the first to say stun gun. Pappy said taser.
Okay. Because I looked and I seen something up there giving somebody else kudos for winning, but you're sure? Okay, I see where somebody else is saying Jay called it. Okay, Jay, private message me if you would, and I'll tell you how I'll get the book to you. All right, guys. Sorry about interrupting you.
No. Stay right there a second. G-Man is our producer in the studios. Every week he does this, and he never. Well, you did have your own show a while back, but he never is on the air with us, so y'all never hear him. Jay is from an undisclosed area somewhere in the world. He is actually living off the grid, almost. Right, G-Man. You actually had to get internet so you could do the show, though, right?
Yeah. I had to go satellite.
So, but he is living off the. Hey, off the grid. Do you ever share like your little story that the producers, did the TV show so people can learn about you? You ever share that?
Yeah. Well, we were on CBC, Canadian Broadcasting Company. They're like CBS or NBC here, except not quite so one-sided. Let's see, and just recently we're on German television.
Well, how can people go learn more about you and your off-the-grid life?
If you go to prepperbroadcasting.com and search the term readout, you will find a couple of posts about a couple of articles. We're on the Washington Post. They did and actually I was quite surprised. Washington Post did a great interview on preppers. And you can read about that there too. Just search the word readout and you'll see 3 or 4 things pop up.
Okay. And don't y'all grow your own food up there?
Yeah, we garden. The little lady here has her herb garden. She mixes in with her flower gardens, and we've got 12 or 14 deer that come right up to the front porch wanting their little meal every morning. So she doesn't know it, but I'm thinking, there's dinner next year.
Dang right. At least one.
That'll feed you for a little while.
Yeah. So awesome. So you guys know all about gardening. So anything we said that you guys are really living it, anything we're saying that's off base here? You got to be able to grow food or you're going to die?
No, it all sounds good. And, and I'm seeing all the remarks and comments about clay, the discussion about clay. I'm familiar with clay from California, but where we're at, we don't even have to worry too much about survival or secret gardens. We just got too much room and too few neighbors. It's pretty nice. We're pretty secluded.
Sweet.
Okay. When the nasty stuff hits the fan, then I'll worry a little bit more if it's that bad and enough people come this way, but I ain't too concerned about it.
Sweet.
G-Man's in a wonderful area because they have all that ancient volcanic ash from Yellowstone. So all the soil is extremely fertile. But then if Yellowstone goes up, then you don't have to worry about gardening at all.
Well, if Yellowstone goes up, most of the world won't have to worry about gardening.
That's true. Well, we got our underground bunker that we can house, 700 people. No, we don't. No, we don't.
No.
That would be miserable.
That would be Bill Gates.
Bill Gates.
700 people he could fit, and he'll be in there with 2 or 3.
The G-Man, our producer.
Anybody's welcome here. They just have to find it. I'm not going to I'm not going to give it out.
No. Oh yeah.
Is that a challenge?
If you can find it and bring your own food, you're welcome.
Duly noted.
Yeah, you can't travel that far with food. Here's some clover. I've been saving up.
Yeah.
So thanks, G-Man. We're gonna. How much time we got? G-Man's always
14 minutes.
14 minutes. So what we're gonna do
12,
is
13 minutes, boys.
Okay.
Good show.
Thanks, G-Man. We're gonna finish up talking about seeds. We haven't talked about what kind of seeds to buy in store, have we?
No, it's just really simple, short, sweet, to the point.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure you buy heirloom, organic, open pollinators. Open pollinating means that basically bees, insects can be able to do their job, get to them, they're going to be able to be reproduced. So you can actually take the seeds from the flowers, replant them the next year, and do it every year with like my lettuce and stuff like that. There's a lot of stuff that's genetically modified. You can't do that.
Right, but I agree with everything you said, but I have a but.
Yes, you do.
I think you need to have regular seeds as well that you buy in the store today. Here's the reason why. Heirloom seeds are harder to grow, no matter what environment you're in, because they're not genetically modified to grow.
Mm-hmm.
So they are actually more difficult to grow. So in a sense, I think you should have 2 gardens or They don't have to be. They could be just separated in a row. I think you need to plant tomato plants or whatever, the seeds you get from the store today that are genetically modified, and the heirloom seeds.
Well, this is only going to be good for
they
one
are.
season.
They're only going to be good for one season, but you're more likely to get food from that than you are your heirloom seeds.
No.
We're
making. You see, this is where my experience is going to come in. If you go out right now and you were to buy seeds for, say, onions and oregano and a few other little things, tomatoes, we'll say. How long are your seeds good for?
It's a couple of years.
No. If you want to go back and you want to hermetically seal them properly,
well, yeah,
then maybe they're good for a couple of years. But most respectable seed companies that are selling stuff like these for seed banks, they only have organic heirloom seeds.
True.
You're not going to be able to go back and find your garden variety, Monsanto, Burpee, all that sort of crap out there. It's going to be good for 6 months tops.
And you can save seeds for another season. I've done it before.
You're not going to have the germination rate that you should.
Well, maybe. But anyway, that was just an idea. It's in theory, I think it sounds great. Because the seeds that you buy from the store are genetically modified, so you can have a big, juicy crop.
Yeah, it has very little nutrients in it.
Well, that's what we eat today. 99% of America eats that kind of food.
And that's why we're all sick.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Dude, you're flinging that knife around like you're getting ready to jump across the table. Kind of scaring me. So anyway, you got to have seeds. You got to store them. Heirloom seeds, there are many different places that you can buy heirloom seeds. They will say heirloom seeds.
Yeah, Patriot Supply.
Yeah, Patriot Supply.
Heirloom seeds and all those guys, yeah.
Yeah, you can find them on Amazon. And G-Man may even have them on the site. I don't know. But also you got to have a plan for also water.
Yeah.
I mean,
you don't want to plant your garden at the top of a hill and have your water at the bottom of the hill and say, whoops.
I promise you'll only do that 1 year.
Yeah.
Because either you're going to die or you're going to learn the lesson. But yeah, so you got to plan water. You got to plan. And so if you have a bug out location, all this stuff needs to be planned before it all goes down too. But also, if you grow food, always grow more food than you think you need.
Actually, I want to point out something here real quickly. Someone did say something here, and it's fiery. In the chat room said that the lack of nutrients is actually due to the soil conditions, not the type of seed. That's actually a misconception. It is actually the type of seed because they're engineered in a way to grow faster and grow larger with less nutrients. So if you were to grow an ear of corn, this is the example I give to a lot of homesteaders, a normal ear of corn from an organic crop will grow 1 to 2 ears maximum. Now think about your root structure that grows out in the soil, okay? If you're only growing 1 to 2 ears in that root structure is absorbing nutrients from the soil versus a genetically modified seed that's growing 4 to 5 ears on the same surface area, there's fewer nutrients going into the food. So you're going to have a higher yield, but there's not as much actually going into it. So soil quality always plays into everything, but the way these things are engineered, that's not the case.
Right. Okay.
And I've personally, I know guys who work for Monsanto and have told me that face to face.
And they design these so they won't reproduce too.
Yeah.
Did you cover that in that little statement? Yeah. I mean, they just won't reproduce, and so all these children, oh mom, let's take these seeds and plant something for next year. They're always disappointed, always, because they'll grow, but it may have like 3 tomatoes, but that's about it. Anyway, there's a fight getting ready to happen in our chat room. So, goodness, we are at 9:52. Okay.
Cash crops. That's the other thing I want to cover. Is,
okay. Oh yeah, for bartering.
Yeah, make sure it's not just food for yourself. You also want to be covering stuff. Tobacco is one that I stock up on. Tobacco seeds, because how many people are addicted? I'd like to keep them addicted. Makes them. No, not really. But I mean, you can still. There's things out there: cotton, tobacco, specialty seeds. Yeah, don't go there. Don't go there. I mean, unless it's legalized. Hemp's a good one for materials.
There'd be no rule of law. I mean, no law at that point.
Yeah, no. I don't want everyone walking around my camp high.
Well, someone said coffee, and coffee's just kind of difficult to grow in North Carolina unless you have a greenhouse.
It is temperamental. One of the things that I would like to do is actually olives, because olives are extremely difficult to grow in this environment. But if you can do it right, you're going to be the only person around with olive oil.
Olive oil, yeah.
And olive leaf extract.
I mean, they
stuff
grew
like that.
olives
There's a lot of medicinal
in
purpose.
Israel, and they didn't at the time.
Yeah.
It was growing out of rocks.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know many people that grow olives.
Yeah, no, you don't hear it at all in this area. This region of the world.
How about chocolate? Can you grow chocolate here?
I mean, you can. Yeah, you can, and it's becoming more and more rare.
But just pure chocolate off a plant, you won't like anyway.
No.
Yeah. So you've got to have a sugarcane farm.
Yeah. There's a lot of things you got to do. But one of the most important things is make sure whenever you are gardening, you do start your crops, you have open pollinating seeds, and make sure you do not consume everything.
Yes.
Make sure you're preserving at least 10% of your yield for seeds for replanting for the following year.
And that's an art in itself, is taking seeds from a plant. Because some plants you can't eat because you are going to harvest the seeds from it.
Yeah, there's certain ones that are very temperamental. Like black seed lettuce is really easy to go ahead and preserve the seeds. Just cut them off, hang them upside down, pull the seeds off. It's a little tedious, make the kids do it or something. But then other plants like okra, I lost half my okra just from doing that because you actually want to dry them inside the pods. And a lot of them get moldy.
Right.
So it's all about.
Okay, we only have a couple minutes left. I'm sure G-Man's going to let us know here in the chat room how much we got left. But that's so the basics. The idea of gardening is, first of all, preppers need to learn how to garden. You need to do it now. You need to learn the system now. You need to learn the system. There are systems you can do it with the least amount of water, the least amount of space, and actually hide it. I mean, it's not the perfect garden. And so, man, our chat room is going nuts tonight. That's crazy. So, guys, just companion garden. I know that Margie Wildcraft teaches a way of gardening. There's square foot gardening. What other methods do you know? People do hay bales. They do
straw over top covers for artificial permafrost.
They do barrels. There's all kinds, but you got to have a system, not just going out learning how to garden. You got to do a system, and you got to learn it now, because the last thing you want to do is be reading a book with bullets flying over your head.
Yeah, we didn't really get to the how to protect your garden part too much.
Yeah.
But
we covered that last week with the guns.
Yeah. Hide your garden and then make sure you take shifts.
Yeah. Take what?
Shifts.
Oh, shifts.
Yeah.
Okay.
So some people work in the garden. It's called forced labor.
I thought you were talking about something else.
Not fertilizer.
Not fertilizer.
You don't want to do that.
Actually, I got a couple comments last week about what kind of procedure you got to get because of you. You're a big jerk.
That's great.
Okay, guys, we have 2 minutes left. Go to Prepping Academy to win the book by Daisy Luther. The New Preppers Canning Guide. Go to preppingacademy.com, hit contacts, and fill out the form. Say, I want the book.
Real quick, because I just see that they're talking about this in the chat room. Make sure you don't use railroad ties.
Oh, because they have arson in it? To preserve them so they won't rot?
Yeah.
I think it's arson.
Yeah, so it'll actually leak back into, everything will leach back into the soil. And it'll die a very slow, painful death.
Aren't we all? Anyway.
Yeah, we really are.
So, and hey, again, if you're listening to this via podcast, we are live Friday nights on prepperbroadcasting.com, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have the chat room going. I know we've talked about it a little bit more than normal. But join us on Friday nights. If not, podcast is fine. You can find us on Stitcher, Intune, iTunes, all the tunes. Our podcast. It looks like you have one last thought. You got your knives up to your head. No?
No, I was just waiting for the camera to go off so I can stick you. No.
So, anyway, again, any last words?
Before I say last words, you're going to execute me. Any final thoughts?
Okay, final
words?
thoughts,
Yeah,
last
sounds
words,
a little
last
bit.
meal.
Yeah, I'll try to do maybe 2 or 3 conspiracy theories next week too.
We only need one.
No, we need more.
We need more.
We need to inform you.
Okay, guys. Again, we might not be good at this, but we really enjoy doing it. So we will see you guys next week. We're out. Later.
Hi, this is Ron Paul. I am a former congressman, physician, and president.
Today's broadcast has come to you through the courtesy of the Prepper Broadcasting Network. See our hosts, show schedules, archived programs, and more at prepperbroadcasting.com. Thanks for listening.
Welcome to Metro PCS.
Hi, I heard you're giving free phones to everybody?
Yes, right now everybody gets a free phone. You and your friends, cousins, neighbors, roommates.
What if I'm already with Metro PCS?
Yeah, it's for existing customers, new customers, people named Willie, dog lovers.
That's awesome.
Everyone gets a free phone at Metro PCS. Come choose your select free phone from brands like Samsung and LG. Metro PCS. Wireless figured out. Sales tax not included. Phones free after instant and mail-in rebates. Upgrade fee may apply. Excludes numbers on the T-Mobile network. See store for details and terms and conditions.
Welcome to Metro PCS.
Hi, I heard you're giving free phones to everybody?
Yes, right now everybody gets a free phone. You and your friends, cousins, neighbors, roommates.
What if I'm already with Metro PCS?
Yeah, it's for existing customers, new customers, people named Willie, dog lovers.
That's awesome.
Everyone gets a free phone at Metro PCS. Come choose your select free phone from brands like Samsung and LG. Metro PCS. Wireless figured out. Sales tax not included. Phones free after instant and mail-in rebates. Upgrade fee may apply. Excludes numbers on the T-Mobile network. See store for details and terms and conditions.
Has your data been hacked? Do you feel uneasy about the vulnerability of your personal information online? Were you involved in the Target, LinkedIn, or Microsoft data leaks? Don't know? If not, then pay attention. Join Forrest Garvin from PrepperNet for a free webinar on privacy and security. Gain insights into safe internet browsing, VPNs, crafting online aliases, secure emails, detecting if your data has been hacked, and managing passwords. Secure your spot today for this webinar on privacy and security. It's free. This webinar delves into comprehensive strategies for bolstering your online privacy. We've got you covered, from fortifying your passwords to shielding your financial information and mastering state-of-the-art encryption techniques. We're offering 2 convenient dates to suit your schedule. Reserve your spot now at preppernet.com/privacy. Don't let cyber threats erode your peace of mind any longer. Take the first step toward a safer, more secure online experience by joining us for our free webinar. Remember, knowledge is power when it comes to safeguarding your privacy. Sign up now at preppernet.com/privacy. We'll see you there.